Hey guys, my name is Modi and you guys are very much welcome back to the channel. I'm sorry I have been MIA for a few days, but I'm also very happy to be back so we can keep discussing the issues that needs to be tackled. So there's something I need to quickly tackle because I see a lot of people falling for this trick. Even people I consider to be wise and knowledgeable are equally falling for this. And that is why I think that it is very imperative to throw light on this particular subject and also wake people up. So after the Bondi Beach attack that sent over 15 innocent individuals to their early graves and injured a host of others in Australia, many Muslims have been coming out to condemn the shooting and claim that Islam does not sanction such actions. They claim that those killers and other millions of killers like them, who by the way all came from the same religion, Islam, are all acting on their own and not in the tenets of their religion, Islam. There are multiple videos of these so-called good Muslims coming out to parrot this particular narrative. And then the most horrible part of all of this exercise is that non-Muslims are swallowing their narrative hook, line, and sinker, including those people I consider to be knowledgeable. For example, let us take a look at this video from Tal Oran. This is someone I consider quite knowledgeable. I mean, I have come across many of his videos and I was really impressed by his intelligence and his ability to voice out his opinion without mincing words. But I was quite disappointed when I came across these particular videos of him practically singing praises to these good Muslims who claim that they condemn the jihadist Bondi Beach shooters because their actions were against the religion of Islam. I saw many creators praising and congratulating these good Muslims, many creators including somebody like Sahar TV. He is someone I also respect too. But guys, I was really disappointed that he also fell for it too. But anyway, let us keep our focus on Tal Oran, okay? Because he reacted to many of these clips. Alright, take a look to this one.
Video from Muslim Majid.
What happened in Australia should have shattered any remaining illusions. No more. A Jewish community gathering celebrating Hanukkah was attacked. Civilians, families, a religious holiday. And once again, Jewish community were targeted simply for being Jews. This is not a protest. This was not a political expression. It was literally terrorism. The most dangerous lie we keep telling ourselves is that these attacks are isolated or spontaneous, random, disconnected from a wider ideology. They are not. They are part of a global pattern driven by the Muslim Brotherhood-derived extremism, an ideology that survives, spreads, and kills wherever it is excused. Yet some people want to call it the boogeyman. It's something like it doesn't exist, even though it's getting banned in Florida and in Texas. This is the same ideological ecosystem that produced Hamas, the same one that has embedded itself inside the SAF in Sudan, the same network that has been backed, exploited, and weaponized by Iran. And speaking of Sudan, is no longer just a civil war. It is being shaped into a future terror hub where what you saw in Australia is just the beginning. This terror hub built on weapons flows, financing routes, ideological infrastructure. We have seen this movie before. We know how it ends. This pattern never changes. First, the ideology is normalized. Then the rhetoric is excused. Then warnings are dismissed as exaggeration. And finally, everyone acts shocked when civilians are murdered and killed in front of their own families. Even in the United States, like I said, this reality is being confronted. Florida and Texas have moved to ban or restrict Muslim Brotherhood-linked entities, recognizing what too many governments still refuse to admit. You cannot fight terrorism while protecting the ideology that produces it. Violence against civilians has no justification. Not in Australia, not in US, not in Sudan, not anywhere. Terrorism thrives on silence. It feeds on moral inconsistency. And it grows when people are too afraid to name the problem clearly. Jews are always targeted first, but never last. History proves this again and again. So this is the moment for clarity. The Muslim Brotherhood must be condemned. Its networks must be dismantled, and its ideology must be banned, not rebranded, not excused, not even tolerated. Calling terrorism by its name is not extremism. It is responsibility, because Muslim Brotherhood ideology is everyone's problem.
Shukran, Majid. I really appreciate you. So okay, for all of you motherfuckers in the comments, and I'm not calling you motherfuckers derogatory, but for all of you guys who want me to condemn Muslims and Islam, what's your answer for Majid? Huh? For that clarity on the problem. And this is the reason why I'm not going to say that every single person in the Emirates has his clarity, but I spent time there, a significant amount of time in the Emirates. I made good friends there who are Muslims who stand with Israel, who are devout Muslims that go to the mosque 5 times a day. They pray 5 times a day. They believe in Islam and the core tenets of Islam. What are you guys going to say to them? This is why I tell you, we can't go all Muslims are bad. We can't. We have allies. We have real allies like Majid in them. Here's another clip, by the way. I guess my team's watching this. That is not takiya. How dare you say that? That is not takiya. You can see what takiya is. It is clear when it happens. That is not takiya. That is a genuine man from a country who has dealt with Islamism. And they have reformed their country. Very clearly so. They have reformed their nation. Takiya is very clear. You can see it. And it is not like that. It is not educated. There are many people who are Muslim who are they want out of this fucking way of life. They want out of this. They want out of this shit. They don't want to be like this anymore.
I am a Muslim, I'm an Arab, and today I stand with the Jewish community in Australia. What happened was not a misunderstanding, it was anti-Semitism, it was terrorism. This kind of hate grows when extremists is allowed space and incitement is ignored. The ideology behind the attack is linked to Muslim Brotherhood-led movement. The same ideology driven the army committing crimes in Sudan. Different place but the same thinking. In the UAE, anti-Semitism is a crime. Extremism is stopped early. This is how society stays safe. Standing with the Jewish community is not politics, it's humanity. I stand with the victim. I stand against terrorism.
I appreciate you, Mariam. I get a lot of clarity from people in the UAE, and this is why I uplift their voices so often and why I call back to them so often. Emirati people, they stand the fuck up and they are embarrassed. And I know this firsthand from them. They are embarrassed of radicalism in the Muslim world. They do not stand for it. They do not agree with it. I'm not saying everyone, okay? I'm not saying every single Muslim. No, not every single Muslim in the UAE, not every single Emirati. Some Emiratis are racist and hate Israel. This is true, okay? But many of them understand the situation and they don't want to live like that anymore.
In Australia, Bondi Beach, during a Jewish Hanukkah event with families and children present, a gunman opened fire, civilians were targeted, people were killed and injured. It was deliberate, it was sectarian, and it shocked a country that rarely sees this kind of violence. Let's talk about why these things keep happening. This wasn't about guns. Australia already dealt with that decades ago. This was about ideology. For years, Western societies have tolerated and in some cases protected Muslim Brotherhood style thinking. Not terrorism on paper, it's not bombs and mission statements, it's something more corrosive. An ideology that politicizes religion, frames the world as permanent victims versus permanent enemies, and turns grievance into identity. An ideology that treats coexistence as a weakness. The Brotherhood doesn't need to tell people to pull a trigger. It just needs to convince them that violence becomes morally justified when the right target appears. Mm-hmm. And here's what parts of the left refuse to confront. You can't normalize radical narratives, excuse them as activism, and then act shocked when someone takes them literally. This isn't Islam. This is political Islam, rejected across the Gulf, especially in the UAE, for a reason. My condolences to the victims and their families. I condemn, of course, these attacks completely. But condemnation without honesty is useless. And honesty starts with calling out the ideology, not just reacting after the blood's already on the ground.
Clarity from the Emiratis. Complete and utter clarity.
So as you can see, Tal Oran was ecstatic that these Muslims are condemning these attacks from their religious mates. According to Tal, these Muslims have clarity. They are different than the rest. They get it, okay? They are the good ones who don't believe that you and I should be beheaded for refusing to convert to their religion under Sharia law. Oh, these guys are the good ones. They get it. They don't believe that Islam will enter every home. Even when one of his subscribers tried to, call his attention that these guys are playing takiya on him, he shut him down and claimed that this was not takiya. This was genuine. Listen.
That is not takiya. You can see what takiya is. It is clear when it happens. That is not takiya. That is a genuine man from a country who has dealt with Islamism. And they have reformed their country. Very clearly so. They have reformed their nation. Takiya is very clear. You can see it. And it is not like that. It is not educated.
He bought the lies through and through. This subscriber tried to alert him that the good Muslims are playing takiya on him, but he shut the subscriber down and claimed that they are not using takiya, that they are being genuine. Now, guys, this is what I'm talking about. Seeing people who I consider to be knowledgeable falling for this trick and claiming that it is genuine. Now, if they are falling for this trick, despite how knowledgeable and how experienced they are with this particular topic, how much more regular individuals, people who are just consuming information on the internet without critical thinking? That is why I found it really important to make this video. Now, all these Muslims featured in this particular video claim that they condemn the attack and that this attack isn't what their religion teaches, even when time and time again, all these killers, all these bombers, including the suicide bombers who exterminate themselves together with innocent people, are always from the same religion, Islam. They claimed that the jihadist killers were influenced by the boogeyman, the Muslim Brotherhood. Oh, it is the fault of the extremist group, the Muslim Brotherhood. This is radicalization from the Muslim Brotherhood, and so on and so forth. But that is a big lie, because this is what the Quran commands. This is Islam in its purest form, and I'm gonna prove it to you from their own holy book. But before I do that, guys, let us pretend that we are all stupid people, right? We are all gullible people who are easily deceived. Let us say that we believe that it is the Muslim Brotherhood's ideology to kill infidels. Now, where is the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood originating from? The same Quran. It is called the Muslim Brotherhood for a reason, because their ideology is Muslim, Islamic, directly from the Quran. What is the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood? According to Google, guys, the Muslim Brotherhood is an Islamic movement whose core ideology is that Islam is a complete and all-embracing system that should govern all aspects of private and public life. It advocates for the establishment of states based on Sharia, Islamic law. You can go further to read more. Everything the Muslim Brotherhood is fighting for is exactly what the Quran commands. So, any Muslim coming out to say, oh, I don't agree with the Muslim Brotherhood, simply means that this Muslim do not agree with the teachings of Islam or the Quran. The Muslim Brotherhood believes that the Quran is above everything else, right? Man-made laws are fickle and useless compared to the laws of Allah, which is in the Quran, right? As a Muslim, do you not believe in Sharia law? Well, that is the belief of the Muslim Brotherhood. The so-called extremist ideology, the boogeyman ideology from the Muslim Brotherhood is nothing but Islamic ideology. It is right there in the Quran? Does the Quran not tell Muslims to kill infidels? Does the Quran not tell Muslims that Islam will enter every home? Then how is Islam going to enter every home if not by butchering us, those of us who refuse to convert? In fact, when you dig into the Quran and the Hadith, it is clear that the highest rewards are reserved for those who pick up the sword in Allah's name. This doctrine doesn't just encourage extremism, it fuels it, explaining why we've seen endless attacks in the name of Islam, while so-called moderates or good Muslims claim that it is not Islam's ideology, but the Muslim Brotherhood's ideology. First off, guys, the Quran itself elevates fighting and dying in jihad as a direct bargain for going to paradise. Take Surah 9 verse 111 as an example. It says, Allah has purchased from the believers their lives and their properties in exchange for that they will have paradise. They fight in the cause of Allah, so they kill and are killed. It is a promise binding on him in the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran. And who is truer to his covenant than Allah? So rejoice in your transaction which you have contracted, and it is that which is the great attainment. Now, this is not ambiguous at all. It is a straight-up contract. Wage war, spill blood, yours or theirs, and Jannah is yours. No ifs, no ands or buts about faith alone or good deeds, okay? Violence will seal the deal and get you to paradise. People like me see this as a glaring incentive for the kind of holy war that has plagued the West for centuries, from the Crusades' defensive response to today's terror cells and shootings and bombings. Then we also have Surah 4 verse 74. Let those fight in the way of Allah who sell the life of this world for the hereafter. And whoever fights in the way of Allah, whether he is slain or gets victory, we shall bestow on him a great reward. Again, the promise is crystal. Martyrdom in this jihad isn't a tragedy. It is the jackpot. Why settle for earthly uncertainties when dying as a mujahid guarantees the ultimate payoff? This mindset is why attackers like those in Bondi Beach or Paris see no downside, okay? They are banking on divine real estate, okay? They have no problem if they get killed in the process because Allah has promised them a greater good. In fact, they wish to be killed in the process. Yes, they do. Do you think that Navid Akram's dad regrets the fact that he lost his life? In fact, the only person with any regret whatsoever is Navid Akram himself, and he regrets the fact that he is still alive and not dead. He would have gotten more reward if he lost his life in the process. Also, you have Surah chapter 3 from verse 169 to 170. It says, think not of those who are slain in Allah's way as dead. Nay, they live, finding their sustenance in the presence of their Lord. They rejoice in the bounty provided by Allah, and with regard to those left behind who have not yet joined them in their bliss, the martyrs glory in the fact that on them is no fear, nor have they cause to grieve. If that is not portraying violent death as the VIP entrance to heaven, then I don't know what is. Now, the Hadith, which is Prophet Muhammad's words, okay, double down on this particular belief, making jihad the top tier act to go to heaven. In Sahih Bukhari, volume 4, book 52, Hadith 46, Allah guarantees that he will admit the mujahid in his cause into paradise if he is killed. Otherwise, he will return him to his home safely with rewards and war booty. Guaranteed entry. No probation, no judgment day relay. Compare that to everyday Muslims who are relying on prayers or charity to get to heaven, when the fighter, the jihadists, get express lane just for killing or dying for Allah. So spare me the Muslim Brotherhood ideology nonsense. What do you mean by Muslim Brotherhood ideology? This is Islam's ideology and the Quran's ideology. So, my dear people, do not be deceived. Keep your eyes out. Do not fall for this takiya. These good Muslims are trying to make us believe that their brothers and sisters who have been bombing themselves and bombing innocent people, killing people, shooting indiscriminately, engaging in suicide killings, and doing all these other acts of extermination of human lives are following a different ideology than the ideology of Islam. Even when they chant Allahu Akbar before carrying out their attacks, even when they are the only religion who does this. I mean, we have seen the pattern, and we have now recognized the pattern. From Nigerian Boko Haram to Sudan Rapid Support Forces to Somalia Al-Shabaab to Iran ISIS to Afghanistan Al-Qaeda to Syria's Islamic State and so many others. Yet, you tell me that this is not the ideology of their religion. Only a foolish, ignorant person will believe that nonsense. And it is very unfortunate that these knowledgeable creators, who I used to respect, by the way, are falling for this takiya. But I sincerely hope that you guys are not going to fall for that. Hence, the reason for my making this video. As always, guys, these are my thoughts, these are my opinions. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, but do so respectfully. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to this channel. Like and share this video to keep people informed, and consider joining my membership or supporting the channel in any way that you can. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. For now, peace. Merry Christmas.